So hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So before we start this video, I just want to say I have to be quiet, kind of, because my mum's currently working. She is probably teaching on Zoom or something. I don't know, I don't care. So if I sound a bit quiet or a bit like rubbish, then that's why. But basically what I wanted to do for this video, because obviously the GCSEs and A-levels for this year have just been cancelled, so I thought why not just like explain my experience of being a year 11 in 2020, because why not, you know? So I'm going to start by talking about my own experience, and then I'm going to give some tips and advice for the current year 11s and 13s. Now, before I actually start, I just want to say that I am not a professional, obviously, in any way. I'm just giving the advice based off of my own experience and what it was like for me. Because obviously you guys watching this, year 11s and 13s, you're in the same position I was in last year. So I have a bit of experience, but obviously the situations are still very different. I do actually have my notebook here, which I've written everything down in. I did also ask on Instagram and Twitter for some questions, but all of these questions here will actually tie into what I'm going to talk about before, so I'm not going to do like a separate section on that. So let's just get into it. The last week of year 11, it was, oh my god, I forgot what day it was. I think it was either the 17th of March, the beginning of the week. It could have been the 16th, I don't know, but it was my friend's birthday on the 17th and I've forgotten which day that was. But anyway, so the week had got off to a pretty normal start, you know, everything was alright, except people did start like dropping out of school, like people were isolating, it was getting quieter and quieter. And then I think it was the Tuesday that my school said that the year 8s and 9s didn't have to go in, and then the day after, I think it was the year 10s didn't have to go in. So that takes us to Wednesday. Then obviously Thursday was the last day of year 11. Thursday was a mad day. It was a very mad experience. I mean, yeah. So we went in on the Thursday. I remember my head of year called us in on the Wednesday for an assembly in year 11, and she was like, it was kind of funny because she was like, you lot are not getting out of doing exams, your GCSEs are happening, you are not getting a free pass on this. And the day later they were cancelled. But anyway, so yeah, it was a crazy day that Thursday. It was actually like it was a good end of year 11 given the circumstances. Like obviously no one really expected it to happen, but I think it was good. Like it was. I don't know how other people in my school feel about that, but personally I feel like it was a good end. It was very strange because everyone was like, what's happening? Are we doing GCSEs? Are we not? Like everyone was a bit, no one knew what was going on. We didn't even know that that Thursday was our last day until the end of the day, because basically like we'd all just, not all of us, but a bunch of us had just gone to the music rooms and we were just all hanging out, you know, not really doing what. Nobody did work on that last Thursday. No one did their lessons. I mean, I went to my first lesson, which was French, but that was it. Like if anyone was in lessons, it was only that first period, that first lesson. After that everyone just did what they want, and it was fun. But yeah, I remember us going to the music room, and then we were all just like singing and dancing to songs from musicals in the past. And then our other head of year came in 5 minutes, it was literally 5 minutes to the end of the day, and he was like, oh, by the way, no school tomorrow. So we just went through the whole of our last day of year 11 not even knowing it was our last day of year 11. And then I remember so many people started crying, everyone was hugging, and like it was crazy. It was so crazy, but it was good. So after that, we all, like, once school had finished, we all just, well, not all of us, but like the bunch of us that were in the music room, a lot of us went to the park that was near school. And then like the weather was miserable. It was raining, it was cloudy, but you know what, we were enjoying it because it was our last day of year 11 and there was a very high possibility that our GCSEs were not happening. So, you know, life was good on that day. We were going into lockdown, we were getting time off school, everything was good. And then we took some photos, like some group photos that I think me and probably other people, I don't really remember, posted on Instagram. So then we all went home. That was all good because obviously school had finished. We weren't in school for however long it was. I think they said it was like 2 weeks at the time, the government said, or something. But you know, we didn't really know what was happening. We didn't have to be in school. We were living our lives. That last day was good. And then it got to the day after, and I remember it was the last time I went out because the rest of my family were at school and work and stuff, and it was just me off. And I remember going out and buying like some clothes. I remember spending my Christmas money. Yeah, that was mad because it was the last time that I went out before lockdown happened. So it was the last time I did anything. And then I remember coming home and seeing on the news that the government had cancelled GCSEs and A levels. And honestly, the first time I saw it, I was like, yes, this is the best thing ever. Because obviously in March we just started like getting up to the real kind of exam thing. So I had my first GCSE the month after that, so obviously the pressure was starting to increase. So when they cancelled our exams, it was like the best thing ever. And then after that, I started thinking about it, and I was like, actually, this might not work out in my favour. And it did, but it also didn't. So that happened, and then obviously lockdown started, and I think many people started stressing out a bit more, not just in my school, but like generally. I've seen it on TikTok and so many social medias. People started stressing out. They were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? How are our grades going to be assessed? Because I don't think we knew at that point what was happening. And obviously we spent months not knowing how it was going to happen for the government to screw year 13s over the week before our GCSE results came out. So that was fun. So yeah, people started stressing, but we weren't really thinking about it too much, I don't think. Well, personally, I wasn't. Like, it was always in the back of my mind for however long it was. And then I remember, I think it was April or May. It was around April or May. And I think we had a letter through like an email from the school saying about sixth form, because I stayed on. Like, the secondary school I went to, I still go to for sixth form now. And I remember us getting emails through saying about sixth form, what was happening, and then it's also said that we were going to get a phone call in like the few weeks after that confirming our sixth form options. So I received the phone call, and the person that answered the phone, he's actually my English teacher now, he was like, so what is it you want to do? So I told him the subjects I'd chosen, because obviously we'd already filled out the application and everything was fine, but we didn't know that this pandemic was going to come and cancel our GCSEs. So he was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And he just confirmed it and said, you're on. So at first I was like, well, that was good. I've clearly got GCSE, like good GCSE results, otherwise I wouldn't have been allowed onto the subjects I wanted to do. And then I did actually find out a bit later on that everyone made it in, which kind of made it a bit more disappointing because I didn't really feel as if I'd earned my grades. But you know what, it's fine. I've moved on. I'm not crying about it anymore. So I was happy about the fact that I'd got into sixth form. I was like, yes, no matter what the results I get now, at least I'm into sixth form, which is obviously the next step to getting into uni. So I was like, yes, I'm a step closer to my goal. Even if the GCSE results aren't that good, at least I'm on my A levels, so I was happy about that. That was what it was like for me personally, but now I'm going to talk about my actual results. So I had a question on Twitter saying, what was it? How many grades did you get upgraded or downgraded from your mocks? So I don't actually remember what I got in my mocks. I don't remember. But based off of my mock results at the time, I predicted what I thought I was going to get. And then, so I have my predicted and my actual results here. So I'm just going to go through what I predicted myself to get and then what I actually got. So for English Lit, I predicted a 7, I got a 7. English Language, I predicted an 8, I got a 7. Maths, I predicted a 5, I got a 6. Science, I predicted 6-5 because I did double award science, I got a 6-6. Sociology, I predicted 6, I got a 6. Geography, I predicted 7, I got a 7. French, I predicted 5, I got a 4. And religious studies, I predicted a 5 and got a 5. Now, the reason that I'm annoyed about the French thing, and honestly, it was my own fault, I'm not going to lie, but I did so well. I remember the French, I did so well because I did foundation French. I did really well in the mocks because I got like 86% in the writing, and I did well in the reading, I got like 70 something. Listening kind of let me down. And we have these speaking mocks, as you do if you, obviously you'll know if you do GCSE languages. And I didn't actually go to it because, I mean, we actually had one in year 10, but I didn't go to that one either because I was doing musical rehearsals. That's a different story. So I didn't really want to go to that mock because I was like, I'm a bit scared. I don't really know what it's going to be like. I don't want to sit there in front of a random speaking French when I don't really know what I'm going on about. So I didn't actually go, which probably, because I didn't get a grade for that part of the mock, which is probably what led me to get a lower grade. But I don't know, like, it was my own fault for not going to the mock exam. It was my own fault, like, I take responsibility for it. But at the same time, I feel like if I got a 5 in the mocks, why would you downgrade me? Because I did get a 5. So I was like, okay. But I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal. In the grand scheme of things, with the way things went, I know so many people got downgraded, and I felt so bad for all of those people. And I mean, French, I'm never going to use it again. Didn't want to do it for A-level, didn't want to do it, like, didn't want to take it any further. To be honest, I don't really care about French. So, you know, it is what it is. So, obviously, by my predicted results and actual results, you can tell that my GCSEs were similar to what I thought they were going to be. So that's good in a way because it means I wasn't upgraded, but I also wasn't downgraded, with the exception of those few subjects that I was upgraded in. So I got in my real exams roughly what I thought I would have got had I actually done them. Roughly, keyword there. Someone also asked, was I relieved that I didn't have to sit my exams in the end? Now the answer to this is yes and no. I was happy in the way that I didn't have to actually face the stress of doing the exams and like exam season and all that. I was happy that that was taken away because obviously in the moment, as it got to March, everything was starting to build up. So I was happy it was taken away like that. But at the same time, I would have liked to actually done the exams so I could have actually proved what I could have got. Because, I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I was having we were all having a conversation in our English class, like, last term at some point, and our teacher, we were just talking about the whole GCSE situation, what was going to happen with this year's exams, and my teacher, she made a very good point of saying, I think it was a bad thing in the way that every year kids surprise us and they come out with these amazing grades that we didn't expect them to get, and you guys, as well as last year's year 13s, were robbed of that chance. So that made me think, I was like, actually, yeah, like, I really feel like I could have done better in, like, I feel like I could have done better in certain subjects, but I was happy in the way that it went. And also, I said I was happy about having the exam stress taken away. That is good in the moment, as I said, but obviously now that we're at A-level, we've never actually done a set of external exams, and with how the situation's going at the minute, we've just gone into another lockdown. We're going to miss our mocks for sure, and it's highly likely that we're going to miss our end of year A-level mocks, exams, whatever they are. So that's not really good because it means we're probably going to only have one set of mocks, if that, before our actual A-levels. So that's not great, but you know, it's fine. Okay, so someone's asked, do I have any advice on how to improve from now on and assure your teachers that you're capable of a higher grade? So this is obviously a question for the current year 11s and 13s. And honestly, I would say just go 110%, put everything you can into these online lessons. You guys are in a good position in the sense that your teachers are still carrying on as if the exams were going to happen. Now that means they're going to be giving you work to do, they're going to be doing the online lessons and everything they can. And obviously you guys missed so much of your content for your GCSEs and A-levels, depending on which year you're in. So whatever evidence your teacher can get to give you a higher grade, they will want to get. So just put everything you have into it. It's only how many months until school finish? It's only 6 months. It's like they say when you actually do the exams in exam seasons, they're like, oh, it's only 6 months of your life, you know, just get on with it. And honestly, that's what I'd say. Just make the best of what you have, because your teachers, ultimately, you know that they're deciding your grades, so you want to do everything you can to get those higher grades. And honestly, you guys deserve them, but you have to show them that you deserve them. Also ties in with my next tip, which would be to just attend all lessons, because obviously, for reasons I've just said, you want to get the highest grades possible. Another thing I'd say is doing extra revisions for subjects that you know you're not so confident in. So for example, just what they tell you at your actual exams, go online, find past papers, do extra revision, make it known to your teacher that you're putting in the extra work, because the more work you do, the more likely you're going to get a higher grade. I know we're in a really tough situation at the moment, and you year 11s and 13s have been screwed over by the government hugely, but there are still things that you guys can do that can help you out. Another good thing about ensuring that you're doing your work, any kind of work that relates to your exams, is that you don't want to get to a position where year 11s and 13s were in last year, where we missed out 6 months of education, didn't have anything to do, because it was quite hard when we started for sixth form. Obviously I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally it was quite hard to like adjust to doing school again, as well as the fact that A levels have a huge jump, well not huge, but they have a jump from GCSEs anyway. They are harder anyway. So yeah, you don't want to have those long periods of time where you're not doing anything, because it's only just going to make things harder when you get to next year, whether you're going to sixth form or uni or whatever you're doing next year. You have to make sure that you're keeping up with some kind of education. And another thing is just for something to do. Obviously we're in a lockdown. It's gonna impact people a lot, especially in terms of their mental health and stuff. So I think just having that kind of sense of routine, doing some kind of school, keeping as much normality as possible as like you can. Obviously that made no sense, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. The last thing I'm going to say is please don't stress. Now I know this is easier said than done, definitely, but obviously, as I've said, there are ways that you guys can put work and effort towards your grades, but ultimately it's out of your control. So don't stress about it. If your teacher gives you a good grade, then great, but if you don't get the grade you deserved or you wanted, whatever, it's not your fault. It's just because of the times we're in. It's a rough situation for everyone. Things are changing day by day. No one really knows what's going on, and you have been screwed over a lot. Everyone in education, everyone is suffering in some way because of this pandemic. So please try not to stress. And if you're going into sixth form next year, you're more likely than not going to be accepted anyway for the courses you want to do, just because of the situation everyone's in, and because just by dint of the fact that you're not in control of your grades at the end of the day, your teachers are. The same goes for year 13s for going into uni next year. I know so many universities are there extending deadlines for UCAS. They're being more lenient in terms of accepting people. So you guys are going to be okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Do all that YouTubery stuff. And I will see you on Monday for my next video. Bye.